Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. Today we will talk about the P1Y1, or as some people name it, the Ginga. Most players will consider this bomber to be unplayable. I will agree and disagree at the same time. For an usual player, this bomber will indeed be unplayable, only usable for bombing tanks or torpedoing ships. But for a try-hard player that can work with both mouse and keyboard, this bomber will be actually pretty fun and entertaining, being able to get some pretty good results. This plane is placed at the 3.3 battle rating, while also being a tier 4 plane. Okay guys, you know what grinds my gears? It is when a plane at this battle rating can be a tier 4 vehicle and freely do events, as the lowest requirement for them is to have at least a tier 3 vehicle, while the Henkel 111H16 that is placed at 3.0 battle rating, while carrying a huge Badonka is placed at tier 2, and it's not possible to be used to farm events because its results won't be counted. All I'm saying is, Gaijin, give Henkel 111H16 a tier 3 rank, and of course leave his BR as it is. Anyway, I guess I went a little off there, so let's continue from where we left. Ginga has a pretty weak bomb load. It can carry 2 500kg bombs, or 1 800kg bomb, or 1 torpedo. The bombs are only enough to take down one small base. But come on, you came to my channel not to see how bombers bomb stuff. So yeah, we just drop them at the beginning of a battle. Bombing is good, but getting that sweet altitude advantage is even better. It has some very strong engines. With our bombs you can reach 6000 meters altitude before you get to the enemy bases, so you can be reached basically only by XP 50s. Of course. It can reach a speed of 546 km per hour on a straight line. It can go faster than a lot of fighters at its BR. It can even outtour most of them, which is great. It even has air brakes, which is great when doing boom zooming. And trust me, you're gonna do that a lot. But when it comes to how well this plane can tank damage, well, it doesn't. The plane gets on fire pretty quickly, and fires are usually fatal on it. High explosive shells rip everything apart easily. But surprisingly enough, most of the times the plane will prove sturdier than the crew. I was playing with an aced crew and most of my deaths were from pilot snipes. The crew has absolutely no armor, so if you ever think about staying on the tail of a bomber expecting to tank some shots... Stop! When it comes to the weapons, the plane has 2 turrets with a 20mm cannon each. 20mm cannons are super strong these days, except you, NM3. You've been quite a disappointment lately. So yeah, you can expect very good damage from the turrets, especially at this battle rating, when most of the crews you meet are usually stock. But the problem you have to deal is the narrow angles of the turrets. And oh boy, for an inexperienced player, this will be an absolute hell. The rear turret can only shoot backwards and at very narrow angles, so for you to hit the enemy you have to make him be almost right behind you. The front turret is facing forward, but can shoot directly in front. Most of the time, you'll have to show a little bit of your bottom to actually be able to shoot. And to make use of these turrets, you really need to work with both keyboards and mouse at the same time, so the entry level for this bomber is pretty high. You need to have some practice with synchronized keyboard and mouse control to actually be able to work with this bomber. Most of the engagements with the fighters will always be dogfights, where you will try to outturn them or make them come comfortably for you on a 6 so you can work on them with the rear turret. With the bombers you usually try to kill as many as you can at the beginning of the battle. Here is a little animation in which you can witness how to normally engage the enemy bombers, depending on your attitude compared to theirs. Again, the aiming with the forward turret is pretty tricky, so your positioning will be the same as well. If you come from above, aim for the pilots. It's the easy way to take them down. If you attack from below, go for the wings. You can also go for the tail, as it can rip apart easier, but it's a little tricky to hit that from the front. Some of you might say that the wing is less sturdy than the tail, and it's the best target. Well,
shut the fuck up!
You see, my dear viewer, tails are pretty easy to take down with high explosive shells. On the other hand, wings can behave sometimes like this. This being one of the main reasons I want the devs to introduce the YB35, so we can test my theory, as the absence of a tail on that bomber seems rather intriguing, considering the questionable damage model of a tail in our game. So if you can, please go to the link in the description and place your vote for the introduction of this plane, and maybe one day we will have this beauty in the game. And if we come back to the Ginga, all I can say after all this is that it is a very difficult plane for a beginner, but if you are tryhard and like planes that can give you a very high income, I would recommend this thing. For me it was certainly fun, and a breath of fresh air after flying some other more questionable bombers that I have made already videos about. That's all I got for today, thank you for coming and see you next time.